we're going to just try to take them out and feed the hungry.
That sounds like a fair plan to me. And as a fisherman, I appreciate the effort.
We've also gone around and so far I've got 28 door prizes. And the largest door prize, well, I've got 3 that are up at Lake Norfolk, and one of them is a striped fish trip, and it's $350. I've got 2 trips on the White River in Mountain View that are $300 a piece. Got a trout trip on the Little Red, which is $325. These are all door prizes. So if you come here and you go out and you fish and you don't catch a one, you can catch a big deal in these door prizes. One of the door prizes is a 5-hour rental from Dam Site Marina for a pontoon boat, which is $500.
Right.
So we've got bog bags that were donated from Lacey's. We've got a 3 Black Falcon drones, little drones that you can play with. Got $100 gift certificates to Jansen's restaurant. Rick's Pawn Shop has given a $100 gift. Zeke and Lizzie's got a $100 gift card. We've got 2 $75 gift cards from Greers Ferry Bait and Tackle. We got 2 $50 Greers Ferry gift cards from Golden Outdoors. Got a Craftsman misting fan from F.L. Davis. Hummingbird Helix 2 fish finder from Red River Marine. So the door prizes are worth the trip.
Yes, they are. They're worth the price of admission.
But there's 28 of them right now. And so I just need for you guys to come on down.
Yeah, why not? Sounds like it's going to be a good time. I mean, the good thing about those fish is you drop on them, and I mean, you find a wad of them, and I mean, they typically eat like crazy.
Well, the thing that I have found is if you see them boiling on the top, strangely enough, you need to throw a spoon down to the bottom instead of trying to catch the ones that are on top, because they're chasing the shad up, and those shad are dying. And there's guys, the bigger guys are just sitting at the bottom waiting for the food to come to them.
Right.
And that's where you want to catch those.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Paul, we got a question. It says if someone wanted to give a door prize, who would they need to contact?
They would contact me,
Okay.
Through you guys here at the Real Estate Center, and I'll give you
Okay.
We'll take all the door prizes we can.
All right. Well, we will share your number to any.
Thank you.
If we have your permission.
We're also, the club is primarily informational. Right now, we've been in business for about 18 months, and we have 425 members.
Wow.
We've had people from the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, people from the Corps of Engineers. We've had bass guides, crappie guides, walleye guides, all come and teach us how to fish. One of the words that I used in this flyer is tournament, and I think that turns a lot of people off. And it is not necessarily a tournament, it's a habitat modification project that we're trying to work on, taking the white bass out of the lake.
It's just a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
We've had other people from other parts of the state call us and say, tell us how successful you were with this, because we want to do it too. The Game and Fish came up and said, this is a grand idea. We have no other way of getting them out of the lake except for you guys catching them.
Right.
And the white bass is indigenous to the area. The hybrid bass is not. The hybrid bass was a combination between the white bass and the striped bass.
Right.
So,
well, hopefully we can get more people out there to catch them, because it needs to happen. It definitely needs to happen.
we do other projects in the club, and another project we've got coming up on Saturday, 26th of October, is we're going to build more structures. So far, the club has built about 200 structures through the Corps of Engineers. People donate. We had Sea-Doo crates. They're about 20 feet long, 4 or 5 feet wide, 4 or 5 feet tall, and another person donated cedar. And so we put cinder blocks in the bottom of the Sea-Doo crates and screwed in the cedar, and they took them and dumped them around the lake. And you can go to the Corps of Engineers website and look and find those structures that have been put in there, because most of the structure that was originally in the lake has dissolved.
Correct.
Because the lake is over 60 years old.
Right.
There's still some stumps out there, and you can run into them. But we're trying to make this a better fishing lake. And that's what most of the people in the club do. They come because they simply want to learn.
Gotcha.
So
Well, it's a tough lake to learn, that's for sure.
it's a tough lake to fish. Yeah.
So our next question is there a website or a media source for information on the group? So is it the www.greersferrywalleyeclub.org?
That is right. www.greersferrywalleyeclub.org. And once you go into that site, you can, there's a link right beneath the main thing that will take you to this application. The cost for joining the club is a whole $20 a year. And once you join the club, then you can actually post on the webpage. So we've kind of put a gateway in there. Once you're a member, then you can post. If you're not a member, you can't.
Gotcha.
Well, I will say I just joined the page yesterday or
On
Sunday.
Facebook?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you're talking about the actual website, right?
Well, you can join it through Facebook and or the website.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you see, you go to the website, there's a QR code. You can click on the QR code and it'll take you right to the application where you can do that. You can find some of these all throughout Greers Ferry. You'll see these forms. And on the back of the form, we have the application and the rules.
Gotcha.
And one of the rules is you can use either live or artificial bait. I don't care how you catch them,
Just
catch them.
Yes, sir.
And catch them big.
That's a fair point.
So anybody who's out there listening who knows where he's catching white bass, please contact me through the real estate center, and I'll be happy to pass that information along to everybody that has signed up for the tournament.
For sure.
What we're going to do is for every 6 1/4 spots on the tournament, we're going to have an additional prize, money prize. So if we have 100 boats, we'll have the 3 top prizes, which is $1,000 for the largest bag, $500 for largest white, $500 for the largest hybrid, and then every 6 1/4 spots will pay money also. Plus the fact that we've got 28 or 29 door prizes.
Right.
So we wanted to make this event, and Big Sarge, who's with FM 103.7, is going to MC this thing. He's going to be there at the Devil's Fork site, and
I think we met him at Lake Fest.
probably did. We're trying to make this an event for everybody. We're hoping to get a bank or somebody to donate some food so we can cook the food. After you've been out on the lake for 8 hours, you would come in, you're going to need something to drink and would love to have something to eat.
For sure.
So we're still working on that one.
So is it all going to be handled through the weigh-in station there at Devil's
It's
Fork?
all going to be handled through the weigh-in station at Devil's Fork.
Nice.
We've got Troy from
Southern Comfort.
Southern Comfort who's going to come in and set up the scales, and we're going to weigh the fish. We're also, because it's quite a distance from where you bring in your boat to weigh the fish, we're going to have bags down there. We're going to have a 4-wheeler down there, an ATV down there, so we can bring the fish up to the weigh station so you don't have to carry them. Carrying 100 pounds of fish up
That's
there
going to get tough.
could be tough. And I hope there is somebody who needs to carry 100 pounds of fish up there.
That would be awesome.
Because again, we're giving them to the other side. We're getting them to the Greers Ferry Food Pantry and the Arkansas Hunger Relief Alliance. I said, do you have a refrigerated truck? They said, no, but we will bring one. So they're going to bring up a refrigerated truck, and I'm just hoping that we have enough fish caught that we can spread them out. When I was looking for places to put these fish, I ran into some food pantries that cannot take perishable items. Some food pantries that are FDA can only take food through a registered facility, and other people that can take anything. So I couldn't find enough. So that's the reason I went to the Arkansas Hunger Relief Alliance.
Gotcha.
And the first thing she asked me, and this was back in July, she said, is this tournament this weekend? I said, no, September 21st. Be there.
Luckily, it'll get there in time for the cooler months. I mean, I know people need to eat year round,
Yeah.
but the cooler months seems to be.
One of the things I think I've learned in this is because the lake is still fairly warm, the hybrid bass and the white bass get really active when the temperature gets down to 75. If we do this again, and I'm hoping we do, we'll go for the middle of October next year.
Right.
The temperature in the lake is supposed to be around 75 on September 21st because we've got some cool weather coming in.
Well, Saturday night it was 78-ish, 79, somewhere in that ballpark. So
Yeah, I was there this morning, and there are some areas that are warmer than that.
Right.
But, so the lake is at 458 feet, which is kind of low. And so wherever you go, you can actually leave. We wanted to leave from any location, but I think we're going to have it from Dam Site, Choctaw, or Devil's Fork. And we'll have somebody there, and we'll have somebody that you can actually, I don't want you to do this, but you can pay at the door. So that if you really want to fish this tournament, we're not going to stop you.
right.
You do need to check in at one of those 3 locations, because I didn't want you to fish from Choctaw and have to come up to Devil's Fork and go back to Choctaw to catch your fish, or fish from Dam Site, come up to Devil's Fork and go back to Dam Site. It'd be easier if you could fish your local spots.
Right. So I had a question, how many teams are already signed up?
Not very many.
Okay. Okay.
We have 400 members in the club, and I'm twisting some arms to see if I can get more to sign up.
Understood.
But if you come in right now, it's pretty well assured that you're going to get a door prize.
Right.
Apparently, the modus, the people around here wait till the very last minute to sign up for a tournament, and I'm probably going to have a heart attack over this. But that's,
Well, as you get closer to deer season, a lot of people deer hunting, this, that, and the other, they don't want to really sign up for a fishing tournament because if that big one shows up on camera Friday afternoon, we might be in the woods on Saturday morning.
When is deer season? I don't know.
Actually, I think bow season is open now.
Is it?
Yeah, the early hunt started, I think, over the weekend.
And then another thing you have is going into the fall of the year, you have a lot of your clubs and things of that nature that are having their end of the year tournaments and things,
Well,
so on.
when I contacted the Corps of Engineers, this was the only date that was available, and I did that back in May.
Right.
So if we're going to change the date and go later in the year, I need to do it earlier. So it's a lesson learned. I've never fished a tournament. I've never been in a tournament. I've never run a tournament. But I made the mistake of volunteering. So here I am. But it's been very interesting. It's been fun.
Right.
So
And as fishermen, we can be kind of needy.
needy.
We can be kind of needy. We have high expectations. We just don't seem to get off the couch and help.
Well, the Walleye Club has been kind of interesting because, again, we've got 400 members, and they're coming there to learn. I love to fish, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably down there in the 1 or 2. But I love to fish, and I love to pass it on to my daughter. And so I'm just really glad that they started this club, and it's taken off. So at 425 members, that's a lot.
It is.
We actually had to move. We were at the Lions Club in Fairfield Bay, and we had to move to the convention center because the Lions Club wasn't big enough. We have about a third of the people actually show up on the 3rd Monday of every month. So this coming Monday will be our meeting, and we have door prizes there too. I won a $195 rod and reel one time.
Nice.
And there's lots of door prizes and typically a very good speaker.
Right. I want to tell, a lot of people know this, but if you're some of those folks that have a John boat or whatever and you don't fish tournaments or fish with a club or anything of that nature because you feel like you have subpar equipment, this tournament, I promise you, this stuff is not necessary. Get out and get on a school of those whites and you drop your minnow down there and you're going to have a ball. And being you can weigh in at, because you're going to be able to weigh in at multiple locations.
No, you can only be able to weigh in at Devil's Fork. You can launch from multiple locations.
Okay, can they trailer to Devil's Fork?
Sure.
Well, or do they need to?
No,
boat?
they don't necessarily need to. They can trailer to Devil's Fork. We
Okay.
just want to get the fish out of the lake.
I understand.
We actually have somebody from Texas who has agreed to fish in the tournament. Don't know quite know how it got that far, but we'll take them all.
Right. So if you can put in at dam site and find you some white bass to catch, a whole big pile of them, when you get done at the end of the day, load up and drive to Devil's Fork, weigh them in, get you a door prize, maybe some
Well, I've
money.
heard that if you fish at the dam site, there's a probability of catching a hybrid
Right.
because they're on that end of the lake.
And better yet, you kayak guys,
Oh yeah,
how much fun would it be to get drug around by one of them big hybrids in your kayak?
I live on Hurricane Bay and I caught 7 hybrids last summer. They were all in the 10-pound range.
Yeah, nice.
So fun to catch.
They are a ball to catch. And when you're just doing it for fun and nothing, just for fun, go to a lighter rod, lighter line, and just hope you break something.
My bait of choice has been a rooster tail, a white rooster tail. I'll throw it out and let it drop to the bottom and then just start reeling it in. A lot of people throw spoons and jigs. Anything that grabs their attention. If you're going to do a jig, you want to put a fairly heavy one because you want it to get down to the
there
bottom.
quick.
Because when you start catching these things, you don't have to wait until that thing gets to the bottom to pull in the next one.
Right. When they get fired up, they are. If you've never done it, you need to do it because it can't be explained. It's awesome. That's all I'll say.
Well, there are some guides on this lake who only specialize in white bass and hybrids simply because they're so fun to catch. But most of the guides are specific, whether it's walleye or crappie or bass or whatever. And we've restricted the guides from fishing in the tournament because they thought that was a little bit of an unfair advantage because they fish every day. They know exactly where to go and when to go and what to do. And so we'd like to make this as fair as possible.
Well, just deduct them
Sure.
30 pounds that's on the scale and just let them know you're minus 30 pounds of whatever you weigh in.
Well, we even thought about letting them let their clients win.
Yeah.
So it's, as it stands right now, we've restricted them from coming in there. But the big thing to remember is you can use either live or artificial bait. There's 2 places here in Greers Ferry that sell live bait, and I think both of them will be open early that morning. One is Bobby's Bait Shop, and the other is Greers Ferry Bait and Tackle. And if you haven't been into Greers Ferry Bait and Tackle, they have more stuff than Bass Pro Shop.
It is for sure amazing how much stuff they can get in that building. Doug and Kayla do a very, very good job at
Yes, they do.
stacking that in there. They do.
We have
So
more
I'm
questions?
gonna-
I'd love more questions.
I'm
Right.
gonna hold this up really quick. And so if you're able to, you can scan the barcode. But here is some of the rules that go along with it. I had, that was one of the questions, was there any rules?
Well, yeah, it must be caught on Greers Ferry Lake or its tributaries. All Arkansas Game and Fish Commission and Corps of Engineer rules apply. All entrants must have a valid Arkansas fishing license. Fish must be caught on a handheld pole. Okay? Both live and artificial baits can be used. Fish must be freshly caught on the day of the tournament. Don't get them and freeze them and bring them in. Teams consist of 2 people. A third may be added as long as that person is under 15 years of age. Under 15 in the state of Arkansas, you do not have to have a fishing license. Top winners may be subject to lie detector test. You can launch from anywhere on the lake, but we've kind of restricted that. We want to do it from either dam site or Choctaw or Devil's Fork. And we're going to give you a little bit of a gift when you sign in, and that gift will show that you've actually signed in at one of those locations. So we'll have somebody at dam site, somebody at Choctaw, and somebody at Devil's Fork starting at 4:30 in the morning.
Ooh, wee.
But they can trailer from the other locations too.
Yes. Yes.
As long as they bring their gift to show that they
That's right.
entered at
That's
the
right.
other. Okay.
We're going to check the boats, and they say if somebody's going to cheat, they're going to cheat. But I think most people are going to be very honest with this. And this is a good cause. We're trying to feed the hungry. We're trying to take the white bass out of the lake and have a little fun in the meantime.
The fun can be had, I assure you. 'Cause they're out
And
there.
so y'all's goal is kind of to do the catch for the calls, make it like an annual thing?
Well, we hope so. It just depends upon how this one turns out. It's been a little bit of work. Having never run a tournament, having never fished in a tournament, there's been a huge learning
They
curve.
get easier.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we feel about this situation we're in right now. This is our second one, and as you've seen, I mean, we're all, yeah.
Yeah, it gets easier, huh?
It gets easier, according to her.
Listen, you gotta, positivity,
Yeah.
positivity.
It'll be fun.
Well, we've had a lot of interest, and a lot of people have picked up the flyers, and just not a lot of them have bit the bullet. It's, $37.50 to enter a tournament per person.
Right.
$75 per boat. We actually thought about letting a pontoon boat go. You can take a pontoon boat out there, that's okay, just don't have 6 people on it. Because there's a little bit of another unfair advantage when it comes to winning the big bucks and getting
Right.
the big fish.
Exactly.
So we're trying to make it fun and even. So,
There you go.
Troy
So,
says you're doing great.
oh, thanks.
Thank you, Troy.
And you do it because you're on the mic, but a shout out to Michelle Gillum for reaching out to us, getting this set up for us to have Mr. Paul on.
Yes, what she said. Hopefully everybody can. I've got earphones on, so I can't hear you clearly. So I'm hoping they did. I could kind of somewhat make out what you said. So I'm trusting that it got across.
A shout out to Miss Michelle Gillum for reaching out to us to have Mr. Paul on to talk to us about this event, and hopefully doing this will help get the word out more.
For sure, for sure. We definitely need to get those things out of here. And of course, people need to eat. So I think
They're actually a very good fish to eat.
they are, surprisingly. Some friends of ours had a fish cook, I don't know, a year or so ago, and I was expecting crappie or catfish, and when we started eating, I was like, man, that's pretty good fish. What is it? And he said, it's a bunch of whites I caught. And I'm like, all right, fair enough.
So we have another question, and are there other ways to support besides joining the tournament? It's not a tournament, it's a
It's a habitat modification process.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to show up on the 21st around noon and help clean fish. We'll take all those that we can get to. I don't know what we're going to bring in. I don't know if it's going to be 5 fish or 5,000.
Right. You just.
But if we have 100 boats and we have 2 people in the boat, we could get up to 1,000 fish. That's 1,000 pounds of fish that we'll be feeding the hungry on. If everybody has a big day, we could catch as much as 5,000 pounds of fish.
Right.
So it's I don't know.
Well, are you needing more volunteers to like help on the day of?
I will not turn anybody down who helps on the day of.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And some people ask if you can fish from the shore, and yes, you can fish from the shore. If you can get in a position where you can catch some white bass, come on down. You don't need a boat. You will have to pay the $75 fee, because that would only be fair, because if you win money without paying, that's
Right.
Yeah.
not a good deal.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make it fun and fair and a big event, and with lots of door prizes. And what else can you do?
This is it. Just ask people to come join. Get out there and catch them.
Yeah.
Because, and hopefully people do, because this, with them being able to put in at several locations and not having to have a boat that'll get you from here to the dam site, in 15 minutes. You know, that
Yeah, you don't have to have a big fancy
yeah,
boat.
that
You
Well,
don't-
this is a big lake, and it's
It is a big lake.
what, almost 30 miles from one end to the other.
yes, sir.
yeah.
So that's a lot of gas.
It
And gas
is.
is not cheap.
It is, and the first boat I started fishing out of with a 12-volt trolling motor on it, I wouldn't have joined either if I had to put in at Devil's Fork and weigh in at Devil's Fork.
Well, one of the local people has a big light, and he goes underneath the Narrows Bridge, and he says he catch more whites than he knows what to do with, but he does it at 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
So I've got a light. I'm going to take it out in the daytime and see if it works. The plankton that the threadfin shad eat are attracted to light.
Mm-hmm.
The white bass are attracted to the threadfin shad. So I'm going to just see if that works too. And again, I'll post anything and everything I can on the site. Just everybody that signs up will get an email telling them where we're catching, who's catching it, where they're catching, what they're catching with, and the time of day. So maybe everybody show up at one spot at one time.
The big Sarge said that he's listening in and he is ready.
He's ready.
He is ready.
Well, hopefully it'll be a fun event. And that's the reason we asked for Big Sarge to come. And I talked to a couple of guides, and they said you need to make it an event. That's what we're really trying to do with the door prizes and the money and the feeding the hungry. I'm not sure what else we can do, except maybe feed them.
Right. And
I think it's a great idea.
And it's hard to prepare to feed when you don't know how many you need to feed. So that's
Well, I can eat a lot.
right.
So again, on Saturday, September 26th, we're going to be building more structures that we're going to be putting in the lake. All you need to do is bring a battery-powered drill and a bit, and you can participate.
Where are you doing it at?
We're going to do it at the Shiloh Marina.
Shallow.
Oh,
marina.
okay.
Yeah. And then the Corps of Engineers will take those things and place them around the lake, and they will go and add those to their database of where these things are, because the structure is kind of dissolved in the lake.
For sure.
And the bait fish will go to the structures, and so will the big fish. And so we're trying to make this a much better fishing lake.
For sure.
The lake is primarily recreational. And with 400 members in our club, we know it's a fishing lake too. We're just trying to make it a better fishing lake.
Yeah, believe it or not, folks, fishing is recreation. Even though some of us forget that at times.
It can get a bit serious at times.
So,
Yeah.
oh well, fun stuff. I'm excited. I hope it has a big turnout. I hope a lot of people come and catch a bunch of fish, because those eating machines need to be thinned out, big time.
Well, you can go to www.greersferrywalleteclub.org, and from there you can go in and it'll say click here to go to the application, and you can fill out the application online. You can pay with a credit card. If you come out on the day of the tournament, you're going to need to come with either a check or cash. It'd be nice if you came with the correct amount on that day. I'm not sure how we would be. Maybe we'll just take the rest as a donation. If you.
There you go. There you go.
That idea.
You're welcome to make it over.
That's right.
Welcome to make it over.
That's right.
So, if that covers everything, I'm gonna
Yeah, I think our questions have kind of
fizzled.
down.
And I want to remind everybody that Jason Blanzy will be here Thursday night, Traveler Plumbing. So y'all tune in, listen to him talk. And Mr. Paul, we appreciate you coming in today. And sorry it took so long. When we were asked back in the spring, we really did we were not expecting it to be this long getting going.
Well, I guess I've had a few businesses of my own, and I tell people that I only gained 4 pounds, and it was 2 under each eye. It is not an easy task to do.
It is not.
It is not.
Especially when technology is not in your wheelhouse. So luckily we have friends that we can call. Thank you, Clint.
So if anybody out there has questions or anything like that, they can reach out to you or I here at the Real Estate Center, and we can get them in contact with Mr. Paul
For sure.
on any info, any donations, any volunteer, whatever.
I will answer any questions.
Yes. And again, we appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thank you.
and
Thank you for having me.
talking. And the next event y'all have, feel free to reach out and we can do this all over again.
Well, the Greers Ferry Walleye Club meets on the third Monday of every month. And it meets at the convention center up at Fairfield Bay. And if you go to the website, you'll find out that. We're always looking for volunteers for the board. We've tried building habitat, educating the fishers, having this tournament. We're doing anything and everything we can think of to get this into a better fishing lake. Because I love to walk down to the dock and take off and go fishing.
For sure. And it has gotten better in the last couple of years. I mean, it's compared to what it was just several years ago. It got pretty bad several years ago.
Well, I think what happened is they stopped stocking the hybrid bass. Excuse me, the hybrid bass were taking everything out.
Right.
So if you catch a hybrid bass, it could be upwards of 20 pounds.
For sure.
So, and that'll put you right up at the top in the tournament trying to win it. Got to find them.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, just watching that pole bend,
Oh.
bend over, that would be a fun catch.
They get after it. They're scrappers.
Yeah.
I have a next door neighbor who I took out fishing one day, and we caught a little white and a 10-pound hybrid. And his picture, his grin was from ear to ear.
Absolutely.
And he's ready to go again.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I want to get my niece, either one of them, both of them out there one of these days
One of
and
them texted me just a minute ago.
get them on it. But they're never here in the right time of year that it's really good, sadly.
Yeah.
But
School
someday.
gets in the way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they both are, both of our nieces, they are busy.
So, but I guess if you've gotten everything out there that we need to get out there,
I think I have. If there's other questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Okay, I don't understand
as
this.
someone who is bad at fishing, any tips for a novice? Yeah, call me. Fishermen don't put that out there in public.
Well, we're going to, at the novices, we're going to tell them where they're catching. If I get the information, we're going to pass along where they're catching, what they're using, what kind of retrieve they're using, the time of day. I'm going to give them as much information as I possibly can so that they can go out and catch some white bass too.
Because Mr. Paul is nicer than the average fisherman. So there you go.
No, Mr. Paul is looking at this as
No, I know.
the
I'm
cause.
sorry, everybody. I'm aggravating Clint.
He said, I'm not a fisherman, clearly. Okay.
Well, on a scale from 1 to 10, I've got a really nice boat, but I'm a 1.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
So I try to learn every time I go out there. I wish I had a device on my rod that will tell me how fast I was bringing in that fish when I caught it, so that I can go back and do the same thing.
Right.
For the inventors out there, there's your idea.
Yeah. Well, and Michelle said, guides come to the meetings and tell exact lures in general locations.
Yes.
Yeah, generally catching them on Greers Ferry Lake.
So Clint, you just have to go to a meeting.
Well, the walleye fishermen are pretty, they love to walleye fish. They've got the planer boards and everything that they need to catch the fish because they're typically very deep. Right now, the thermocline's at about 30 feet. Mm-hmm. So you're probably not going to catch any fish below 30 feet. So if you're out there and you're fishing and your depth finder says it's 60 feet, move in a little closer to the shore.
Yeah, yeah.
They can be out there at 60 feet, but they're going to be in that 30-foot range because there's not enough oxygen below below the thermocline for the fish to survive.
Right.
It's another thing we've learned at the Walleye Club.
And you can actually see that on your graph
Yes, you can.
pretty clearly.
And we've actually gone and done an oxygen reading all across this lake and worked with the Corps of Engineers, the Game and Fish Commission on that one, to show what the oxygen level is. So
How
we've
cool is
done
that?
an awful lot to try to educate and make this a better fishing lake.
It sounds like y'all are doing an amazing job.
Well, I want to say thank you to the Greers Ferry Walleye Club for all this work, because as a fisherman, we're all going to benefit from it if and when it gets kicked off and gets going. So come out, catch you a bunch of them, get them out of here, help them help us.
Win some prizes, feed some hungry,
Yep.
have a good time, and be entertained by Big Sarge.
There you go.
That is gonna happen.
There you go.
That's gonna happen for sure.
So we appreciate everybody for being here. Mr. Paul, thank you for coming in again.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
And I think we'll see y'all Thursday with Jason. Hope everybody has a good night.